Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today we're going to be talking about blue-white birds in Pioneer. Definitely one of the more fun deck lists I've ever done here on the channel. As always, let me know in the comment section below after the video, is there any cards that I forgot? Was there any super sweet birds or something that I should have put in the deck? And as always, if there's any suggestions that you have for upcoming videos, just let me know in the comment section below. So, alright, a little bit of backstory. So, obviously, for those who've been watching the channel for a while, I do a lot of creature type matters decks. You know, I've done dinosaurs and dragons, and I don't know if we've done rats yet, but we've done merfolk, we've done humans, we've done, you know, everything like that. So, and the other day, I was trying to think of a spicy new, creature type matters deck to post, and I was like, man, birds, which you don't really see birds decks a lot, but I know a lot of people like to play all different kinds of creature types and stuff like that, and I was like, man, I don't ever see any bird decks. So this is blue-white birds. It's somewhat similar to our flying list we did I want to say about 2 months ago with like Elemental Skycat. We get to play some very unique cards and some unique anthems because, you know, with birds, there's not a lot of anthems to play for the most part. So anyways, let's hop right into the list here. So a couple of our one drops, we're playing for Cloudfin Raptor. Definitely a card from, you know, years past. This card was very, very good in standard. Having the evolve mechanic can be very, very powerful on a card like this. You know, it can get very, very big. Cloudfin Raptor, just a great card. We're also playing 4 Judge's Familiar and 4 Healer's Hawk. Judge's Familiar, again, another card of, you know, old standards past. Very similar to Mausoleum Wanderer, except what's great, obviously, is you can pay blue or white mana to play it, which is pretty cool overall. And then it has a very similar line of text. Then we're also playing 4 Healer's Hawk. Just a great card in general, you know, flying lifelink, you know, what's not to like about it? You know, that incidental life gain just from the lifelink, you know, casually attacking for 1 or 2 in the air can honestly be pretty solid. It's very, you know, it's a very unsuspecting card, and all of a sudden from Healer's Hawk, you've gained like 5 or 6 life, gained yourself another combat, and you're able to finish out the game. So Healer's Hawk, very, very good card indeed. So, next slide, we got a couple of our powerful 2-drops. We're playing for Ledger Shredder. Yes, it is a bird. The card is very, very good, but sometimes that creature type definitely matters. Ledger Shredder, a very, very big, powerful card in Pioneer. Also really, really good Modern as well. Just great, you know, helps us draw extra cards. It gets a little bit bigger, and it's a 1/3, just a good body overall. We're also playing for Watcher of the Spheres. This card is very, very powerful. I know it was in the Spirits Precon deck, and it wasn't even a spirit, but it's still just that good. Watcher of the Spheres is fantastic. It gets pretty big, you know, obviously we play more flyers, it just gets even bigger. We tack in, it's fantastic. I really, really like Watcher of the Spheres. I think it's arguably one of the best cards in the deck. So, the next card on our list, so the front side of it is Allrund, but we're not playing it for the Allrund. We're playing it for Haka Whispering Raven, 2/3 for 2 flying legendary bird. When it deals combat damage to a player, return it to its owner's hand, then scry 2. Just good stats, you know, a 2/3 flyer for 2. Yep, it does come back to our hand, but we get to scry 2, and then if we want, we can just play it again on, you know, in our second main phase. It's just good. You know, why not? Have it on defense, have it on offense, scry, help our Dryos get a little bit better. Don't see why not. Overall, just a good card. So, next slide here. We've got pretty much, I don't want to say the heart of the deck for the most part, but definitely some very powerful cards. So we're playing for Empyrean Eagle. Obviously, we saw the thumbnail. We knew we were going to be playing Empyrean Eagle. So it doesn't give our birds specifically +1/+1, but it does give our creatures with flying +1/+1, which, spoiler alert, is all of the birds in our entire deck. So birds gets a Lord. Fantastic. We're also playing for Rally the Ranks. We choose a creature type, and then creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. I did consider playing Favorable Winds as well. The main reason I'm playing Rally the Ranks is because, spoiler alert, we are also playing a few Mutavaults, so that way it does get the buff, at least from there. So, figured I would also include that as well. Then we're also playing for Rally of Wings. I've always really, really liked this card. It's extremely powerful in the right build. 1 and a white instant, untap all creatures you control. Creatures you control with flying get +2/+2 until end of turn. So, Rally of Wings, very, very powerful card. You know, we have a whole bunch of flyers in. We have like an Empyrean Eagle. We just attack in and then boom, rally, untap our dudes. They get +2/+2. We can use it offensively and defensively, which is pretty sweet. You know, for our opponent, if we're trying to race them, which most of the time we would just want to anthem, but we could also catch them off guard. All of a sudden, oh, boom, we untap all of our flyers. We we get +2/+2, and then we just blow them out with blocks. So Rally Wings, very, very fun, underrated card for sure in the format. If you're playing a Flyers deck, I would highly consider playing Rally Wings, even if you're not even just playing like blue-white Flyers. If you're playing mono-white Flyers, whatever, card is absolutely fantastic. So, finishing out our main board here, we're playing a couple of counter spells. We're playing 2 Spell Pierce, obviously just really good counter spell in general. It definitely takes care of a lot of things when our opponents are playing on curve especially, so just a great counterspell in general. Then we're also playing 4 Lofty Denial, 2 mana, counterless, they pay 1, but if we have a creature with flying, which most of the time we are going to have a creature with flying, it's countered unless they pay 4 instead. So, obviously just flexible counter spells, they're just good. I think there's, you can make the argument if there's like a lot of removal in your format, maybe switch out the Spell Pierces with like some protection spells like Dive Down, for instance. But at least for my local metagame, I chose to play the Spell Pierces instead. So that's the entire main board, but we have to talk about our lands real quick. We're playing 4 Hallowed Fountain, 4 Seachrome Coast, and 4 Hengegate Pathway. Obviously pretty standard dual lands of the format for the most part, nothing too special about them. Then we're playing 1 Adarkar Waste, 1 Aganjo, and 1 Otawara. Obviously, Adarkar Waste, it's untapped. We do take a little bit of damage sometimes, but it's still very powerful. And then Aganjo and Otawara, they're free. Why wouldn't we play them? We do have a couple of legendary creatures too. So, it's not completely crazy that those will be cost reduced. Reduce it is not a word, sorry. And then also finishing out our lands, we're playing 3 Mutavaults. So it is a bird when we do activate it, but just keep in mind though, whenever it's, for instance, like the Empyrean Eagle, when it gives creature with flying, it does not obviously count the Mutavault because Mutavault does not have flying. So, a little bit of a downside, but it's still a really good man land that is untapped, so obviously we're going to play it. And then rounding out our lands, we're playing 1 Island and 1 Plains. These are the beautiful 10th edition ones. I think these arts have been reprinted, or these are reprinted lands. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I really, really like the lands. You got like the lightning going on and the sea there. And then the plains, it's like a nice, lush plains. I really, really like that art. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and talk about the sideboard guide real quick here. So, obviously, we need some Graveyard Hate. Rest in Peace is definitely the best option. Obviously, we're in white. It's fantastic. And the card was just reprinted, so you can get them for about $1.50. So I highly suggest picking those up. We need some extra removal. Portable Hold definitely is the best option. You could also play cards like, oh man, I'm trying to think. Fateful Absence is pretty solid. I personally like Declaration in Stone a little bit better. Yes, it is a sorcery, but the Exile Clause is really good, especially against like mono green, for instance, because it's gone. They don't get their Cavalier triggers. They don't get their Old Growth triggers, that kind of thing. So that's what I personally prefer. Then also Damping Sphere and Deafening Silence. They're really good. I guess I'll call them hate pieces. They're really good against decks like Lotus Field Combo, Mono Green, Izzet Phoenix, that kind of thing, which those are obviously some of the bigger decks in the format, so I always highly suggest playing those. And then I put extra counter spells. Cards like Spell Pierce are fantastic. I personally recommend, cards like Aether Gust, which I know it isn't a counter spell, but I always highly suggest playing a couple extra ones. You can play like some Dovin's Vetoes would be fantastic as well. That kind of thing. Mystical Disputes. It's really, a lot of it really just depends on your metagame. But if you'd like to see what I'm playing in my sideboard, the link for the deck list is in the description below if you'd like to know the exact numbers of cards that I am playing specifically. And then our last slide here, budget options. So for the most part, this deck is extremely cheap. I want to say how it's built now, it's about $160, but if you just take out Ledger Shredder and some of the dual lands, this deck is easily under $50. So I put in Shredder out, wins in, that is favorable wins specifically. You could also try and find another 2-drop bird. I personally did not find another good substitute bird to really play. Of the birds that we're playing, I feel like are typically the best ones. If you're looking for another creature to substitute in, I would maybe play I think it's called like Warcry Falcon. It's from Call Time. It's like a 1/2 for 1 with flying and first strike. If you're looking to replace it with a creature, but I personally just like favorable wins. Throw in a couple of favorable wins, and then you've got, we got 8 anthems, and then we also got a Lord, and we have the Rally the Wings. So I guess that's up to you guys. I'll let you figure that out. And then obviously, like I said, with the lands, tap dual lands, Which actually that says alns, well, not lands, which is pretty funny. That's a big typo. But I specifically put tap dual lands in because you can play cards like Temple of Epiphany, Temple of Enlightenment. That's the white-blue one. You can go ahead and substitute those in. And then cut the utility lands, like cutting the Otawara and the Aganjo. Just substitute them in for some basic lands. That can definitely help cut the cost. And then when you just make a couple of those cuts with the dual lands and the Ledger Shredder, you can easily get this deck under $50 if that's something you're interested in doing. So that is all I've got for you today. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. The deck list is in the description below if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Let me know in the comment section below if you do end up building this. The deck is extremely cheap. I just pretty much need the Ledger Shredders, and I have the entire list, so I'm probably going to throw this together. Just let me in the comment section below. Is there any cards that I forgot to put in on the deck list here? Just let me know in the comment section below. So, I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.